All right. We are back. We are back for another night, another stream with your boy Jay. Shout out to each and every one of you, all the listeners and all the watchers. Today's date, August 8th, 2023. We got a nice little show planned for you guys tonight. Make sure you smash that like, that thumbs up, and of course, subscribe to the channel. Turn on your notifications that way you don't miss a stream. We've got preseason football coming up. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. I'm streaming Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all football, preseason games. It's going to be exciting. Make sure you guys lock it in. All right. Shout out to all the listeners, all the watchers, the Wrench Gang, the family, as we get going. What's going on? Forrest Green in the building. Let's go, yo. How's everybody doing tonight as we prepare to get started? Jacob in the building. What's up, Jacob? Says, yo, are you ready for football? Yes, I have been ready since we started the Jets and the Browns. I'm excited. I'm ready to go. We've got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We are back, and I'm excited. Shout out to you, Ronald. What's going on, man? Purple in the building. Let's go. Shout out to all you guys in the Rich Gang. All right. We got some topics to cover. I want to get into this boat situation, yo. I want to get into this boat situation, and I know I'm going to piss some people off. I'm going to make some people mad. That's fine. That's what we're here for. Y'all know I handle myself well, and I love these kinds of conversations. Now, if you did not know, obviously Sunday there was this big brawl. There was this big fiasco, this big disturbance that happened down in Alabama at a boat dock, which basically caused a big ruckus at the riverfront dock down in Alabama. Montgomery police issues warrants after massive brawl. Now, before we get into the video, all right, I have to say that it is sensitive. There's violence. I have to basically go ahead and let that out so you guys know before we get into this. Want to make you guys aware. So we'll go ahead and get into the video, and then we'll break it down.
An altercation on a Montgomery, Alabama boat dock over the weekend between a group of white boaters and a black employee escalated into a massive brawl that resulted in multiple arrests. Montgomery Mayor Stephen Reed is calling for justice to be served for attacking a man who was doing his job.
It's an unfortunate incident, and it's something that we're investigating right now. We'll continue to go through that process before we take any additional steps.
It all began when the black employee was trying to clear the dock space where the Riverside cruise, the Harriet II, normally docks. The cruiser was about...
Let's stop it there for now. We know how it started, right? The employee wanted to clear the dock so they could bring in the boat. Obviously, these other people had an issue as far as with what he was saying. Now, just from a general standpoint, as someone who once owned a boat, someone who enjoyed being on boats, someone who has friends with boats, there is no shortage of people who are intoxicated while enjoying outdoor activities on boats, and especially in a place like Montgomery, Alabama. I'm sure that this is one specific place where people love to spend a lot of their times on a boat while being intoxicated. But let's continue, because that's not an excuse.
About to return to shore and needed its space to dock.
Just doing his job. And for some reason, they didn't like it. They didn't want to move the boat. And he decided to get physical with him.
You can see in the video the black employee on the dock arguing with one of the men from the pontoon boat, and then another shirtless white man charging at the employee and hitting him in the face. Soon after that, you can see several others join in on the...
Wait, let's stop. All right. Let's unpack this here. Obviously, he's having a conversation, talking to the guy. They're going back and forth. And then this other individual comes in and basically sucker punches him at that point, which leads to the brawl, as you can see here. So, digesting it from that point. Now, we see what CNN has said with their title, black worker attacked by white voters on Alabama dock. Now, if we remove color from this, right, because we got to look at it from all angles. If we remove color from this and we take it out of context from being a racist situation, because that's what it's painted out to be right now, at the end of the day, you have two sets of individuals that got into an argument because one person didn't want to move their boat and one person needed them to so that they could obviously bring in the boat that they needed to, specifically at this docking area. Now, would this happen if it was two white people? Would it have happened if it was two black people? Most likely. Right? We can't keep sitting here and saying that every situation is based off of color. Now, I say that loosely because obviously we got to get down to the facts, right? What was really said during this whole conversation? What was really, what kind of words were utilized? Because then we can break things down even further. But let's keep it going. Shout out to E. Capone. He caught the hat thing. We got to go back to this hat situation here because this is absolutely amazing. From now on out, I'm gonna just let you guys know when I throw my hat in the air, that means I'm under duress. Come help me. That's the new signal. You got to throw your hat in the air. That means I'm in trouble. Let's rewind the clip.
Physical with him.
You can see in the video the black employee on the dock arguing with one of the men from the pontoon boat, and then another shirtless white man charging at the employee and hitting him in the face.
All right, so let me stop it here now. Obviously, the guy with the visor, the golf visor on, he was actually looking to be sensible. This other guy came out of nowhere, obviously looking to start trouble, start a fight, whatever. So then he shoves him. Let's keep it going.
Soon after that, you can see several
other point, you see that the worker then takes off the hat, throws it in the air. I've been trying to hold it in because this is a serious situation, ladies and gentlemen. Don't make me laugh. Listen, when he threw that hat off, it was like... Listen, when he threw that hat off, it was like watching an NFL game. I was like, where's the flag? Flag on the play. Yes, he threw the hat. Somebody stop the play. Blow the whistle.
Others join in on the attack of the dock employee. In some of the video, which has gone viral, with millions of views, people on the boat can be heard yelling for someone to go help the employee.
Now, the issue comes into this, right? When they jump him. And this is a big problem. Obviously, this is a party of friends, family, whatever. They decide to come together and then jump him, which is absolutely trash. Now, one of the big things is you can see he started off by having what looked like to be a sensible disagreement, a sensible debate. This other idiot comes out of nowhere, shoves him, punches him, whatever. This then leads to a brawl. Now,
then at one point, you can see a young man who has jumped off the boat, swimming ashore to help the man who is being attacked.
The boat got closer, the guys and the crew members and everybody got off, and that's when it happened. That's the reason why when they got off the boat, they came right to that smaller boat.
And that's when more fighting ensues, turning into an all-out brawl that included several people getting hit over the head with a folding chair. Soon after, officers started trying to take control, handcuffing people in the fight.
You know, they were the antagonists of the whole situation. Arrest them, because unfortunately, when things happen, people of color are the first to be put in handcuffs.
Many questions remain about the melee that appeared to be very much split across racial lines.
We are fully engaged, and we are doing all of our due diligence to find out exactly what took place.
All right. So there you go. Obviously, if you look at the tape, there's so many different issues here. There's so many different problems. you can spin it the racial divide way if you want to. You can spin it the way of two individuals got into it, and then their specific friends or their family, and then this crowd came to help their friend. One of the biggest things that I see in the media, because I read a lot of the news, I watch a lot of the news. One of the biggest things that I see in the media is that whenever something like this happens, it's always painted out to create more divide. Now, as someone who has friends throughout the world of all different races, ethnicities, beliefs, backgrounds, I see character. And that's how I judge people. I judge people by their character, not by the pigment of their skin. Now, is that to say that there aren't racist people in this world? Of course not. We know that there is. There's racist white people. There's racist black people. There's racist people in every ethnicity. But to say that every situation is considered to be a racially motivated event is incorrect and wrong. Now, obviously, we'll need to see as far as, as the days go on, what comes out, what was said, and whether or not it was actually racially motivated with the intent of being a hate crime, because then they should be prosecuted. I'm going to say this one more time for the people in the back. If it comes out that it was a hate crime and racially motivated, they should be prosecuted to the fullest. But if it's not, then hey, I see two groups of people getting it on. WWE style. Somebody got hit with a chair, yo. I want to find that. I want to find that that chair video. I gotta find it. Oh, let me find it. Let me see. Let me see if I can find this picture, because this is absolutely ridiculous. Shout out to Jobless. What up, yo? Let me see if I can find this chair, because that's the new meme. If you see, here we go. If you're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, anything, you see any meme that has to do with the chair, it's in regards to this right here. Right here. This is. Oh, look at this. Look at this. He put the chair to his face, WWE style. My goodness. If you see a meme, this is why. We gotta bring out Ric Flair, just because. We gotta grab Ric Flair, just because somebody brought out the chair for this. There it is. We had to bring out the chair. All right. Shout out to Faith Is Me, says WWE special. Yeah, man. Yeah. It's sad. It really is sad. This situation definitely could have been avoided, obviously, if the two gentlemen were able to come to some kind of resolution. And then you didn't have some idiot run in and want to attack him and then basically start the brawl. So if anybody's to blame, I think it would be that individual who came in and started it. And then obviously, if this man has his employees or his coworkers with him, and then whoever else is rocking with him, and they see that, hell, I'm not just going to stand there either. I'm going to run out there and try to help him as well. He's getting jumped by 6, 7 people. The real question is, would it happen both ways for some people? Because I would definitely be that person to go out there and help someone who's getting jumped if I see that. That's the real question. Shout out to Faith Is Me. What's next, trash cans? Trash cans, ladders. I'm sure if it was out there, they were going to use it, without a doubt. Let's wrap up the story. It says authorities have issued arrest warrants after a chaotic brawl broke out Saturday on a popular riverfront dock in Montgomery, Alabama, with punches thrown, people hit with chairs, and at least one person tossed into the water. The melee began when a black man, who a witness described to CNN as an employee, engaged with a group of white men on the dock. According to footage of the incident, a shirtless white man then charged and shoved the employee, and others pushed the worker to the ground and started punching him. The fight escalated further when other groups of people entering the fray. And after a short break in the action, a second round of punches and attacks, the footage shows. Montgomery police said they were called to the scene after they found a large group of subjects engaged in a physical altercation, according to a Monday news release. Several people were detained and charges were pending, police added. There are 4 active warrants and more could come. Major Saba Coleman, a Montgomery police spokesperson, told CNN in an email. Police acted swiftly to detain several reckless individuals for attacking a man who was doing a job, as they should. The cops needed to act swiftly. That way you don't take that out of context. Montgomery Mayor Stephen Reed said Sunday in a post to X, the platform known as Twitter, warrants are being signed and justice will be served. The fight largely broke down along racial lines in a city with a fraught history of racial animus. Reed, the first black mayor of the city at the center of civil rights movement, said the incident was still under investigation and officials were looking into all angles of it. Officials plan to hold a news conference Tuesday afternoon to offer more information on the incident. So there you go. You know, like I said, if I see someone getting jumped, I'm gonna hop in too. It's not the right thing, right? That's what led to the brawl. And that's just the reality of it. Shout out to Sheila, says, I don't care what race you are. I would have helped. But the one shirtless man looks like the main problem. Yeah, he definitely started it. Like I said, the dude in the visor looked like he was having a strong argument debate, but I think they could have reconciled whatever was going on, right? I think they could have fixed whatever was going on. But when that man came in and charged, he said like just like Ric Flair, that's what led to the issues and led to the problems. And listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. As bad as this is, nobody got shot. And I think that we have to take that as a win, especially in a place like Alabama. Nobody got shot. So, Ric Flair, what do you got to say about that? There you go. All right, so moving on. As we get through that story. Absolutely crazy. Next up, what do we got? Okay. NFL power rankings. Power rankings for your NFL. We're going to start at the 15. Let me go ahead and get my sizes right here. Can I get my size right? Yes, no? Okay, there we go. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get into the NFL power rankings for the preseason. This isn't the regular season, week 1. This is going to be preseason. So we'll get into the power rankings. Shout out to Brian, says, can you play it again? Now we got to move on, man. We got to move on. You know I'll make somebody mad, yo. You know how that goes. We're going to go ahead and get into these power rankings for the preseason, week 1. We're going to start off with number 15 coming in hot, these Carolina Panthers. Now, listen, Bryce Young, whether or not he's going to go out there and be able to perform, we will see this week. We will see if he can go out there and he can ball out. He can be the person that he needs to be, lead this Panthers team in a good direction. And let's get into it. It says Carolina has welcomed back its wayward son, Frank Reich, after 2022 brought the Panthers nothing but noise and confusion. They're hoping 2023 gives them a glimpse behind any sort of illusion to have them soaring even higher. I got to fix this. This is killing me. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I got to fix this. All right, there we go. Here we go. Also have the best defense coordinator in the division after Ejiro Evero. Avero's arrival does bring a scheme switch to a 3-4 base, but the personnel they have is more than capable of making it work. All of this is capped off and centered around their number 1 overall pick, Bryce Young, who is surrounded by a coaching staff with lots of quarterback experience. I like what the Panthers are building, and spoiler alert, they are my pick to win the NFC South. This is not my pick. This is USA Today Sports, just so you guys know, and so you don't get crazy on me. This is someone else. I'm just starting off and seeing if this makes sense for a top 15. So there you go. Shout out to Faith is me. It says I'm stuck with the Broncos. All right, let's go to number 14, the Detroit Lions, which I don't agree with this at all. I don't agree that they're number 14, but we'll get into why. It says if they could stop gambling for 5 minutes. Wow, that's a strong statement. I tell you what I enjoy about the Lions. For starters, we all love Dan Campbell. He's what happened if Stone Cold Steve Austin became an NFL head coach. That's actually pretty funny. As a matter of fact, if the motto for the 2023 Detroit Lions isn't show up, raise hell, leave, then a ginormous cash grab opportunity for T-shirts is being lost. Regardless, their offensive line is among the best in football, and the likes of Jahmyr Gibbs and Amon-Ra St. Brown are going to turn games into track meets. We've already talked about this. I told you about that run game. It's going to be crazy, and I'm excited to see it. The secondary was the worst unit for Detroit in 2022, and all they did to fix that was sign all of the hottest available defensive backs in Cam Sutton, Emmanuel Mosley, C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I like the direction of the Lions. We'll see how they do with actual expectations. But why do they have them at number 14? Doesn't make sense. But we'll keep it going. Shout out to Rick. Lions will be a decent team this year. Yes, they will. Brian says, number 1, stop gambling. Yes, just stop gambling. You'll be fine. All right, number 13, Cowboys. Okay. Where are we going with this one? Dallas terrifies me, and not in a good way. You know, they need to start paying Jay, like, big money. Because if they can do this, I can do this. This is USA Today Sports with this list, by the way. All right, so 13, we've got your Cowboys. Says Dallas terrifies me and not in a good way. They fired Kellen Moore. Oh, no. They hired Brian Schottenheimer. Oh, no. And Mike McCarthy will be calling the offense. Merciful heavens, now there are some aspects of the Cowboys to be optimistic about. Micah Parsons is good. I don't know if anyone has told you that yet. They also acquired Brandon Cooks from Houston to be their burner, while CeeDee Lamb can eat defenses in the intermediate game. All right, we already know this. All the aforementioned issues, as well as Tony Pollard's timetable for return being unknown, and Zach Martin is a very angry lad who wants to be paid and is in the midst of a holdout. All of that combined with the fact that the last time the Cowboys had 3 consecutive postseason appearances was 94 through 96. Ooh. You can say I'm a little skeptical about what 2023 could have in store. So then why are they number 13? They shouldn't be in the top 15. I know you guys are going to be mad I said that, but that's just the reality of it. Shout out to Duke. What up, yo? What's going on with you, bro? Faith is me says Jerry Jones is still alive, so Dallas will still be. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. All right, let's keep it going. Number 12, Seattle Seahawks. Okay. Maybe, yeah. Shout out to Jerry Jones. What up, bro? The Seattle Seahawks were the walking embodiment of the Kermit sipping tea gif in 2022. Everyone, myself included, expected them to be terrible after trading Russell Wilson to Denver, when really the opposite became reality. That is a fact. Everyone thought that Seattle was dead and that Denver was next up, and it was the complete opposite. The Broncos went 5-12. The Seahawks went to the playoffs right in the right arm of Geno Smith, whose career resurgence was enough to make grown men think that if they trained hard enough for a year, they could qualify for an Olympic event. Stop hating on Geno Smith. The man has the experience. He has the years in the game. And he's got a decent arm. And guess what? Pete Carroll knew that, so he chose him, and he proved it. But let's keep it going. With the additions of Jackson Smith, Jabba, and Devin Witherspoon to 2 units. They were already very good. The Seahawks should be right back in the wild card once again and maybe even competing for the NFC West title. I said that. I said don't sleep on the Seahawks. And they'll come out balling this year. Shout out to Faith is me. You know the Bud Light pronoun or whatever? Forget it. Anybody remember the frog commercials? Remember the classic was that Budweiser? The was I remember that back in the day? That's so classic. Oh man. All right. Let me keep going. All right, number 11, Baltimore Ravens. All right, I mean, I guess we're starting to make some sense now. Ravens at number 11. It says it's a telltale sign of how horrid Lamar Jackson's receivers have been when fans treat 30-year-old Odell Beckham Jr. like the Ravens just signed Randy Moss and Jerry Rice rolled into one. Wait a minute. Are they really hating on Odell Beckham Jr.? This is wild. All right. USA Today, y'all got some issues over there. We gotta have a conversation with Tommy Gilligan. It says that I love what the Ravens have, and I think Todd Monken's offense will be a welcome change to the stale attack of Greg Roman, but I'll echo what I said about the Chargers and say it about Baltimore. They need to stay healthy. I can't bank on Lamar, Odell, and Rashad Bateman all staying healthy all season. John Harbaugh will get the best out of whomever they have, but the Ravens have to have a shorter injury report to have any real shot at a Super Bowl run. I will agree with the second part of that take. The injuries are going to be the biggest thing. If you lose Lamar, if you lose Odell, if you lose Bateman, you're basically right back where the Ravens were last year. And that's the reality of it. But if they can stay healthy, you're going to see these Ravens in the playoffs. Definitely. Faith is me says, yeah, and Denver is like a retirement home for old quarterbacks. What's next? Roll out Elway for the one last ride. You know what's funny? If Elway was to come back, he might even like actually do decent. Just arm strength alone, right? Because he'll know how to work that pocket. Shout out to Data. Say this channel is legit and a great substitute to watching live games. The speaker has great insight and loves the Buffalo Bills. Go Giants. Peace. Shout out to you, Data. Thanks for the support, my friend. Thanks for that. Means a lot. Also, shout out to Alec Miras for subscribing. Thanks a lot. Welcome to the channel, my friend. Thank you for subscribing. All right, who we got at number 10? Number 10, Miami Dolphins. Okay. Says Jalen Ramsey getting hurt puts a big damper on things for the Dolphins, but I still think the pieces they have for Vic Fangio's system, especially their defense front of Christian Wilkins, Zach Seiler, Bradley Chubb, and Jalen Phillips. My question is, will the offense replicate what they did last season? We wouldn't want them to replicate what they did last season because Tua got hurt. So we wouldn't want them to replicate that. But it goes on to say, yes, they're going to be very fast again, but how they will counter when teams attack them like the Chargers and the 49ers both did last season. Plus, can Tua Tagovailoa stay healthy, and can he continue to be that proficient? And how will the Dolphins fare against the still great Bills and the expected to be much better Jets? I think they take bronze in that division, but will still be a likely wild card team. Listen, if Tua stays healthy, like I said before, I'm going to give them their respect. But as far as AFC East goes, I'm going Bills, Miami, Jets, and Patriots. I'm still sticking to that. It's not changing for me. Until we get, through these preseason weeks and something drastic happens, I'm still staying there. Shout out to Duke, yo. All right, who do we got for number 9? These Chargers. Okay. So I'm going to regret this so bad that sentence alone sums up the Chargers. Any sort of belief in them is rather unjustifiable. Wow. They blew a 27-0 lead in the wildcard round to the Jaguars. I mean, it's the Jaguars now. They're not just some pushovers. And somehow Brandon Staley kept his job. The only reason for the optimism, of course, is Justin Herbert. That quiet killer that Chargers have at quarterback keeps me and several others drinking the Kool-Aid. I've been drinking the Kool-Aid too, I'll be honest. Kellen Moore should take the lid off the offense a bit more than Joe Lombardi did, and the weapons he has at his disposal are still reliable. The Chargers just need to stay healthy. Several key players missed significant time with injury in 22. The word if is a big one for the Chargers, but their potential is certainly great. I had the Chargers having a good year this year. And yes, that's the San Diego Chargers to you guys. I had the Chargers having a decent year. Once again, we can all get into stats. We can get into, who's great, who's going to do what. The big thing when it comes down to teams like the Ravens and the Chargers is going to be injuries. Because that's what defines whether or not if they're going to be able to compete at a high level with these other teams that have so much firepower. That's the reality of it. Moving on. Number 8, the New York Jets. You mean the New York Packers. As we get into this one. The Jets won 7 games last season with human tackling dummy Mike White and Cougar alumni Cougar Hunter Zach Wilson as their primary quarterbacks. Adding a 5-time MVP into the mix will certainly go a long way. The defense is astounding, and their young stars have potential to get even better. The only thing that will keep the Jets out of playoffs will be distractions. Verbally jousting with Sean Payton because he said something correct about Nathaniel Hackett isn't what this team should be doing. If they keep their mouths shut and their heads down, they'll be a force. If they get distracted by outside noise, well, we know the Jets. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now. The fact that you had Mr. Aaron Rodgers going back and forth with Sean Payton, this man has to prove himself. Because if he does not, and if the Broncos end up beating the Jets, this will probably be one of the biggest slaps in this man's face in his career. So there you go. Jets number 8. Who do we got for number 7? The Steelers. Wow. They're putting the Steelers over the Jets. All right. Number 7. Pittsburgh Steelers. Says Mike Tomlin should get a Nobel Prize for somehow scraping together 9 wins after a slow start and a quarterback change mid-season. With a cast of young stars who now have a full season and another offseason together, combined with new talent that was added to the roster, I really like the Steelers in 2023. Kenny Pickett has looked fantastic in camp. His confidence, poise, and rapport are all night and day different for the better. The weapons he has at his disposal, along with an improved offensive line and defense that features 3 All-Pros, Pittsburgh is going to win a lot of games. Listen, Mike Tomlin still has – he's currently is 15-0 for winning seasons. The man knows how to win. He knows how to coach a team. And guess what? He's got a great quarterback in Kenny Pickett. I like that Kenny Pickett and Pickens. Say that 20 times fast. I like that Kenny Pickett and George Pickens duo. I think they're going to ball out. I want to see more of Najee Harris get out there and ball. And that Steelers defense, this may be the year of the curtain. This may be the year of that iron curtain. We'll see. We shall see. Fade This Means says the Steelers have to perform or the city riots. That's without a doubt. Duke says Dalvin Cook. Listen, I think he might end up down in Miami or the Patriots. We'll have to see. All right, next up, we got number 6. Ooh. Jacksonville Jaguars. I've been working on it, ladies and gentlemen. The Jacksonville Jaguars. It just rolls off. It's real nice and smooth, just like the vehicle. Exotic luxury. All right, let's get into these Jaguars. Number 6 on the list. Trevor Lawrence is my preseason MVP pick. I'll get that out of the way now. This is Corey Perrine from the Florida Times-Union, just so you know. With Calvin Ridley, Evan Ingram, and Christian Kirk leading a really deep group of receiving threats, it'll be a pleasure to watch Goldilocks and the 3 Jags go to work offensively. Not to mention Travis Etienne and Jamal Agnew, who will have their own roles offensively, and the Mad Hatter Doug Peterson calling the offensive as he does so well. The secondary does worry me a bit. Outside of Andre Crisco, there isn't anyone I love, but their front 7 is full of guys that can all be called upon evenly. Listen, I think the other Josh Allen, he's going to do great. Without a doubt, we're going to see that Jags defense step up this year. They're going to be a little bit more hungry. I think last year, obviously, it was a lot of the jitters that they had from being a young team This year they're going to be more refined, and we're going to see a decent Jacksonville team. I'm not gonna write them off. Mr. Long Hair don't care. I think he's going to ball out. Definitely think he's going to ball out. D-Max says Jacksonville is, I don't know, Lawrence is a bit overrated. I wouldn't say he's overrated. I think he's right where he should be. Obviously, you have a ton of people that believe in him, but when it comes to where they're ranking the Jaguars and him respectively, I think he's where he should be. Jabba says, why is there only 18 people watching it? Well, we got a chill nights. Wednesday, people doing family stuff. It's still not cold yet, so people out living life and all that good stuff. So, but they'll all be here come Thursday. They're ready for the games. They don't like to hear Jay talk unless we in full season mode. Sheila says, rather be called wires and wads. Shout out to you, Sheila. All right. Who's next? Number 5. I don't like this at all. I don't like it at all. Number 5, 49ers. Really? Shanahan and company? All right. Some will say that the 49ers should be higher. Oh, look at that. Obviously. But my top 4 is reserved for teams whose quarterbacks I can rely on. For the 49ers, I can rely on everything else. But when you have questions about the most important position in sports, I'm not putting you above Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen. Sorry. The rest of their roster is terrific, though. An already loaded defense added Javon Hargrave in the middle of the defensive line. Fred Warner is the best off-ball linebacker in football, and their offense is basically the NFC Pro Bowl team. Even then, until the 49ers go into season knowing they have a guy at quarterback, they won't win a Super Bowl. We do know who's going in at quarterback. It's going to be Brock Purdy. It's already been figured out. There you go. There's no excuse for this. 49ers should be higher. And I'm going to tell you why. Excellent weapons at offense. Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk. We go on the defensive side. As he said, Hargrave, Warner. Did I mention Bosa? His name sends chills down quarterback spines. But right now he's working on his contract, and you know how that goes. He's trying to get the bag. So shout out to Nick Bosa. I hope he does. And this 49ers team is not going to be something to play with, so don't sleep on them. Brock Purdy is currently resting as well, so we may not see him in preseason. So when he comes out, he's going to be strong and ready to go for week 1. So D-Max says if their quarterback stays healthy, they're definitely a top contender to end up in the Super Bowl. Winning it all is always a toss-up, of course. Shout out to Patty. What's up, Patty? Shout out to you. Number 4, my Bills Mafia. All right, let's get into it. Last year was supposed to be the Bills' year. Yes, it was. It looked like the Chiefs were going to go through a little bit of a reload. They have who many believe to be the second best quarterback in football, Josh Allen, and a defense that added Von Miller. Unfortunately, injuries, weather, the Damar Hamlin incident, all these things became obstacles that were difficult to overcome. Once Von Miller was lost for the season, none of the Bills' pass rushers could do anything that signified they'd be a Super Bowl team. This is so wrong. This is absolutely wrong. Even with the defense that we had, if our offense would have just stepped up, we definitely could have went to the Super Bowl. Without a doubt. And the sad part about, all these columnists and analysts and all these guys who get paid millions of dollars to talk about the same thing that we talk about every day have takes like this. Goes on to say this year, though, they are still strong. They'll get Von Miller back in the back half of the season and try to put together a run at a championship. One of two things will happen for Buffalo. We'll all look back at the Stephon Diggs minicamp ordeal and laugh after they hoist the Lombardi, or serious questions will be asked about if Sean McDermott is the right guy at head coach. I agree with the first side of that. I think Sean McDermott's the right guy. I'm glad that Leslie's gone. I'm going to say that again. I'm glad that Leslie Frazier is gone. You want to fight me about it? We can fight about it. But I'm fine with him being gone. There you go. I don't like it. They had Bills at number 4. So who's at number 3? The team that was in the Super Bowl? Okay. Even though they lost, they're number 3. Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles were within a nose hair of possibly winning the Super Bowl, but fell just short. The Eagles lost the aforementioned Javon Hargrave and C.J. Gardner in free agency, but they added Terrell Edmonds and half of the University of Georgia to make up for it. That is true. The Eagles are the best team in the NFC until proven otherwise, and with how top-heavy the conference is, they are only a select few that will threaten to take the crown. So why are they number 3? If the Bengals are number 2, I'm going to be upset. We're just going to get right to it. How could they be number 2 if they didn't make it to the Super Bowl? And we can't keep forgetting that Burrow probably had the worst start to the season of any of the top quarterbacks last year. Are we not going to include all the sacks and all the issues that he had before they got it together? But the Bengals number 2? This is absolutely wild. All of Ohio collectively held his breath when Burrow hobbled off the field. Yes, he was injured during camp, so it'll be interesting to see if he's going to play week 1. But he's healing right now. He is healing. It was eventually carted off what was later revealed to be a calf strain. For the Bengals' sake, hopefully their starting quarterback doesn't miss any regular season games. The Bengals did lose some talent from the last 2 seasons. Von Bell and Jesse Bates now call the NFC South home as they sign with the Panthers and Falcons, respectively. They did, however, extend Trey Hendrickson, and as long as he, DJ Reader, and Jermaine Pratt are in the front 7, the foundation of Cincinnati's defense will be great. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins will continue doing their thing as well, and as long as Burrow is healthy, it'll be business as usual for the Bengals. Now, listen, the big problem with this is obviously the core team for the Bengals are still good. But you have Burrow, who now has an injury in both legs. The right knee and the left calf. It's really going to be interesting seeing how this plays out for Burrow. Both his legs have injuries. So I would be watching that. If I'm a fan or if we're watching, I'm watching his legs. I'm watching to see if he's trying to get that ball off faster, and if we start seeing him throw more interceptions because he's trying to get rid of that ball so he doesn't get hit. So there you go. Shout out to Patty Hassat coming through and joining the family. Let's go. Shout out to you, Patty. Thank you for the support. Thank you for joining the family. We got to get Mr. Ric Flair back in the building along with some air horns. Shout out to you, Patty. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the family. Thanks a lot for the support. Let's keep it going. Shout out to Jonas. What's up, man? Says, what about the top 100 players? Yeah, we can get into that. That'll be another stream. We can get into that. How did Justin Jefferson go number 2 and Hurts went 3rd? Yeah. Well, getting into number 1. You should already know this. We already know who's number 1 on this list. It's going to be your Kansas City Chiefs. Super Bowl champions. Obviously, they'd have to be number 1 for the preseason power rankings. Totally get it. What is there to say that wasn't already be said about these Chiefs? They have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. You don't need anything else. Obviously, you do need a lot of other stuff. You need a Juju Smith-Schuster. You need a Travis Kelce. All right, you need a Hardman. You need some defense. All right, come on now. They just made it really easy. We know. Kansas City Chiefs, they're number 1. But they're going down this year because I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I got to get y'all riled up. I don't think Kansas City's going to make the playoffs. I said it. Shout out to Forrest Green, yo. Jobless, yes. Yes, it does. Rick says they're saying the Steelers and the Panthers are better than the Vikings. Nah, I'm going to totally agree with you there. I'm really shocked by this list. I don't agree with it. Shout out to you, Jonas. I was actually reading a story. It said that Patrick Mahomes was almost a Chicago Bear. Imagine that. Imagine Patrick Mahomes being in the spot that Justin Fields is in right now. All that talent would have been wasted. Shout out to Luta. What's up, Luta? Says, okay, Hoodie J, I think you're wrong. Hey, we'll see. We'll see. I'm just telling you, when I say stuff, it's a high percentage chance that it happens. And it's a very high percentage. You know that. Fade This Me says only if they break Homeboy's knee. That's the only way they don't get in. Listen, now obviously we don't want anybody to get injured. All right, we don't want anybody getting injured for the sake of another team getting to the Super Bowl or winning a championship or getting to the playoffs. We want everybody to be healthy. And I told you this before, right? I don't want anybody to be injured that the Bills have to beat because I don't want any excuses at all. I want no excuses when we go to beat these teams. Oh, Joe Burrow was hurt, and that's why you guys won. Oh, Patrick Mahomes was hurt. That's why you guys won. I don't want that. I want these guys to be in tip-top shape so when we go out there and we actually win, it's 100%, and you can't say anything about it because we did it the hard way. So there you go. Shout out to D-Max says the self-proclaimed experts believe that the Steelers are better than the Vikings. Not actual Steelers fans like myself, but we could have a better record this season if Pickett takes the step. I mean, obviously everything's speculatory, right? The big thing is this. Week 1 pops up. We're going to see a whole lot of craziness. I'm going to be adjusting my projections. You guys can be adjusting yours. We're going to be going back and forth saying how we didn't expect this to happen. We did expect this to happen. But we're going to break it down as the weeks go by, obviously. You guys know how we do. But the main thing is this. Right now, I could see why they put the Steelers, I would say, right there with the Vikings. But to put them ahead of the Vikings, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. Shout out to Faith Is Me says the Ravens are playing, and if you play the Ravens, someone always gets hurt. I'd be interested to see the new bounty gate for the Broncos. That's what I would be interested to see. So, Jobless says, why does some people say Jared Goff is bad? He is good. I don't say Jared Goff is bad. I said he had a great year last year. I'm excited to see him ball out. I think he's going to do wonderful things this year. Without a doubt. So, yeah. All right, so we got a couple more stories I got to get into before we wrap things up here. Mr. Where we at? Oh, here we go. Mr. Teddy Bridgewater signing to the Detroit Lions. This is a great pickup. I don't care what nobody says about Teddy. Teddy is a great backup quarterback behind Jared Goff. Let's get into this one. Free agent quarterback Teddy Bridgewater is signing with the Detroit Lions, a source told ESPN Jeremy Fowler on Monday. The signing will reunite Bridgewater with Lions head coach Dan Campbell, who was the Saints' assistant head coach, tight end coach, with Bridgewater when Bridgewater was in New Orleans. The deal is expected to be finalized this week, a source said. Bridgewater adds reliable depth. Pay attention to that word, reliable depth behind Jared Goff, who was Detroit's clear-cut starter. The Lions were looking for the highest level of insurance and bringing another backup, and this is beautiful. Beautiful. I love what Bridgewater did with the Saints. I love what he did with Miami. And now bringing that over to Detroit, this just makes Detroit a little bit more powerful. And I keep telling you guys, Detroit is definitely going to be a force to reckon with. They keep putting the little pieces in place to basically help them play better chess. And this is another one. Keeping it going. Although Goff was healthy and played well this past season, Detroit's depth at the position was strong, with punter Jack Fox the only player on the roster to complete a pass. Backup quarterback Nate Sudfeld didn't appear in 2 games, but didn't register any stats. Bridgewater visited the Lions in late July, and Campbell didn't sugarcoat his interest in him. We're year 3, and I think we're in a much better position, and you want to know that you're in the best hands possible. I'll leave it at that, but that's also, it's a competition. Campbell told reporters during training camp on July 25th, it didn't mean that Nate's out of anything. If we go this route, if it works out, you'll feel good about whoever comes out of the fire is going to be the right guy to help you along the way. But yeah, you don't want the wheels to fall off. Bridgewater spent last season with the Miami Dolphins on a 1 year, $6.5 million deal, and was Tagovailoa's primary backup. He ended up filling in for the injured Tagovailoa on multiple occasions, although he was also injured throughout the season. So there you go. Bridgewater heads over to the Lions, and I am excited to see what happens. So Faith is Me says Teddy is like having the Unabomber as quarterback. You never know if he's going to go off or not. Yeah, it's true, but it's kind of like an oxymoron, right? It's like the reliable Unabomber. Shout out to George in the building. What's up, George? How you been, man? How you been feeling? We were asking about you in the last stream. Glad to see you here tonight, my man George. Sheila says Jaguars in camp, several injuries. Agnew and Campbell, big hunters for us. Yeah, there's a lot of injuries right now during camp. So some things are going to shake up as we keep it going. So shout out to George, says I'm still upright and ready for football. I'm glad to hear it, George. I am glad to hear that, my friend. All right. What do we got last? Our last story. Okay, yeah. Last story, Mr. Jonathan Taylor. He had to leave the training camp for rehab. Mr. Jonathan Taylor, shout out to you, Luta. All-pro running back Jonathan Taylor has left Indianapolis Colts training camp to continue rehabbing his ankle injury off-site, the source told ESPN on Tuesday. Taylor, who has been in a standoff with the Colts over his lack of contract extension, was not in attendance at Tuesday's practice, even though injured players are customarily expected to be on the field for each workout. Coach Shane Steichen said Taylor was absent as part of his rehab process. If you don't see him out there, it's part of his rehab. When asked about whether Taylor was rehabbing on or off site, Steichen declined to comment. The source told ESPN that the Colts were previously made aware of Taylor's plans to continue his rehab away from the team and that his absence is expected to last several days. Taylor had been on a physically unable to perform list since reporting to training camp on July 27th. The team attributed that decision to his offseason ankle surgery, but a source later added that Taylor also complained of back and hamstring tightness. Taylor has denied any issue with his back. The Colts open up their preseason against the Bills. My Bills Mafia, Saturday, 1 o'clock. Make sure you are here. It's going to be crazy. But there's still no indication of a resolution between Taylor and the team. Taylor has asked for a trade, which owner Jim Irsay vehemently rejected. Yeah, you do not want to lose Taylor, so he's trying to get some more money. That's for sure. Taylor, according to multiple sources, continues to hold out hope that the team will reconsider his request. He has 1 season remaining on his rookie contract and is scheduled to hit free agency next spring. He led the NFL in rushing with 2021 with 1,811 rushing yards, 18 touchdowns. His 3,841 rushing yards since entering the league in 2020 ranks 4th in the NFL, and his 33 rushing touchdowns is tied for 2nd. The man balls out. And it's kind of a shame that all that talent, and dare I say it, has been wasted with those Colts. Love you, Luta. I just had to say it. Duke says, Jay, who do you rate higher, Taylor or Henry? Ooh. If we're gonna talk like, someone that can run through people and power, take hits, and still get you yardage, I gotta go Henry. Yeah, I gotta go Henry on that one. Taylor, he's a great runner. He's got the speed, but there's something about a running back that can just run people over. And that's, Henry all day. D-Max is Henry by an inch. I got to go Henry. No matter how you put it. If you want to give him a centimeter, a millimeter, I got to go Henry. So, yeah. There you go. It's going to be your news for Wednesday evening, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to Patty, says preseason, but I still have butterflies. Go Bills. Shout out to the Bills Mafia. I'm excited for Saturday. Preseason is going to be absolutely, absolutely fun. And like I said, hopefully we get enough people. We'll give away another jersey. And we'll make that happen. Like I said, I got a Bills jersey to give away, depending on how many people show up for the stream. If not, we'll wait until week 1. So hopefully, we get a ton of people in here. We'll have a fun time, give away a jersey, and we'll make it happen. So, shout out to you, Rick. Much love, man. All right. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to the Rinse Gang. Shout out to the family. Once again, a good show as always. Shout out to all the listeners, all the watchers. Thank you for all stopping in, rocking with us tonight. And I'll see you all tomorrow. We got one more day, ladies and gentlemen. One more day until we get back to football. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I am back, focused. Y'all know me. When I'm committed, I am committed. We're not going to miss a moment. We're going to have fun. And I'm excited. So, shout out to you guys. See you all tomorrow. Have a good night.